right, so this is the Dharma class from California, as transmitter Mark was saying earlier. And so the first thing is the sandwriting from the Chief Examiner of Three Realms. So the Chief Examiner of Three Realms, just remind you, is the Buddha or saint who's in charge of in the Dharma class to make sure that everyone is following following the rules, regulations, paying attention on all that. Okay, so all right. So here he starts. He says, basically, in this final era, so we in this what we call the white period or the third period. Right, there's three periods: the green, red, and white. So we're in the white period, which is the final stage before, well, in this cycle. Okay. And it's also a time of calamities. Now the Tao, so he says, heavenly truth or principles of Tao are also being promulgated during this time. Promulgated, being spread, propagated, okay? The Tao is always, whenever there are calamities in the world, right? During times of calamities, because during calamities like earthquakes, floods, typhoons, whatever, people die, right? So heaven God is merciful and wants to save those who are willing to be saved, really. And so the Tao is made available. Of course, the Tao is made available only during this time, this white period, where anyone who has that affinity, who has that willingness to receive the Tao, they can receive the Tao, and so they can be saved from these calamities. So that is one of the, you can say, the benefits of receiving the Tao. Okay, so it's a big benefit. And then he goes on. He says, an individual's respect and sincerity are manifested, and those that pass the test can become saints and Buddhas. All right, so. Because we are in a time, again, this white period is very special. The Buddhas and saints keep telling us that during this time, and only during this time, as long as we can receive the Tao and we can cultivate, put in the effort, cultivate merits, practice our virtues, develop our virtues, then we can, in this one lifetime, achieve what the Buddhas and saints in the past have achieved over many lifetimes. Okay, of course, this is actually, it's not, we have a foundation. Okay, so it's not that, I had no foundation in the past and no cultivation in the past, and then in this lifetime I can do that. That's because we have that foundation, that past foundation of cultivation, that we're able to receive the Tao and to be able to continue to cultivate. But this is like kind of the reaching the finish line, if you will, and so of this path, and so we're able to achieve sainthood or Buddhahood in this one lifetime. You just have to put in the effort, accumulate the merits and work on our virtues. Right. So this is that's kind of all right. That's pretty clear, right? I'm using this cursor. Can't. Where'd it go? It's too small. There we go. Okay. All right. So then he goes on to announce himself. I am the Chief Examiner of Three Realms, arriving at this temple, bearing Lamu or God's decree or mandate. So all the Buddhas and saints, when they come to the temple, they all have heaven's, God's mandate to come. So they can't just decide, I want to come by myself. It's always, God giving a mandate. And so making obeisance to Lamu is just like we do the kato, the bowing, the arrival bows. They do the same. It says, how are you, younger brothers and sisters? Okay, so he treats us as like his equals, his peers, brothers and sisters. So the Buddhas and saints, they're always, they're all humble, modest. Await your brother's written instructions with calm disposition. Okay. So, goes on. Heaven has made available or descended this great Tao for universal salvation of the three realms. So these three realms are the realm of humanity, the realm of the spirits in the underworld, okay, so, and then the realm of the saint, well, devas, okay, that's also another spiritual world. Those who are basically in their lifetime, if they cultivated or they have some virtue, fair amount of virtue or merits, but if they did not receive the Tao, have the three treasures, they'll end up as in that spiritual realm, that celestial heaven that we call, where they are devas, okay. But that's also a limited lifetime there, maybe a few hundred years, 1,000 years, but it's still limited. And again, in this white era that we're in, after this period ends, that celestial realm will also end as well. And so devas are also afraid of that end time. And so any devas can also receive the Tao, but it requires people who are living who have that affinity with them, some connection with them, okay, to have them be uplifted by them. Okay, so it's hard though. That's you have to have that special affinity. And then of course spirits in the underworld. Now most people, if they're not reincarnated in this world, they're then in the underworld, and they're suffering. But once we receive the Tao, the spirits in the underworld are ancestors, okay, anyone who's connected to us in our family tree, then they stand to benefit, so they don't have to suffer as much. They can listen to the Buddha of the underworld, listen to the Dharma being taught there. Okay, so that's what the salvation of three realms. Universal salvation means anyone with that affinity today this Tao is openly propagated. Okay, it's not in the past. It was one-to-one. You have to find that master, seek the master to get the Tao. Okay, so to allow those with affinity to be able to return to the original source, right? So we all come from that origin, the God, Lamu, what we call the absolute heaven. Right? That's where our true nature, our true self comes from. Okay? It's not the physical self, right? Heaven and earth do not speak, so the truth principles depends on people to promulgate and explain, right? Heaven and earth, right? They don't talk, but so it depends. This Tao depends on us, people, to spread, or this truth for us to spread, to talk about, and so we are heaven's helpers. We are heaven's staff members. Trying to preach the truth, the gospel to the messenger. Yeah, you can say messenger. That's our mission. Yeah, he talks about that. The next thing it says, regard with importance the mission that we bear upon our shoulders. Right. So we all have a mission. We may have forgotten. Right. We may have forgotten. Yeah, I think most of us probably don't remember saying, "Oh, I made a promise that I'm going to spread the Tao and to at least save myself to return back home." That's something that we all forgotten. Unfortunately, when we're born into this world, actually, even in Greek or Roman mythology, they say the same thing. They drink from that fountain of forgetfulness before being reborn. So you forget everything. You start kind of almost from scratch. But we still remember some people, they might remember some things, but we might have like an inclination and something within that kind of guides us if we have that foundation from the past. Okay, a clear understanding of one's mission allows us to constantly maintain a proper or correct mindset and thoughts, or having this mindfulness, and that's basically at all times. Okay, so understanding what our mission is, understanding the meaning of life first of all, and why we're here, and what we're not here to enjoy ourselves. We can enjoy ourselves, but again, this is we take the middle path. We don't go to extremes, and so. But having that goal in mind, do we want to return home? And also, when we return home, everyone is our brothers and sisters. And so, since we all come from that same source, so we try to bring other people, everyone with us. Okay, so that's our mission, right? And hopefully we don't get lost along the way, right? So maybe we were lost before. Now we found the way. Hopefully we don't get, again, lose our way. All right. There are too many tempting things in the world. Right?
Just give one short. There's one lecture. Lecture. You know what happened to her? She had a motorcycle accident, so she was unconscious. Okay, and then they couldn't wake her up in the hospital. So you know what? So the doctor decided, let's put a needle, because the face everywhere is broken. So they try to put together. Sew it together. Okay. They say stitch together. So they don't want to give her because she couldn't wake up. So they don't put a anesthesia. Anesthesia. Yeah. So just let her feel the pain, can wake up.
Yeah. I woke up from the pain.
And the teacher came in, say, going to be very painful for you. Tell her, the lecturer, well, you want to come with the teacher. Okay, so teacher took her spirits out, and then she can see her body with the doctor is doing all the stitches. Okay, the teacher took her to the heaven. You know what happened? And teacher showed her the paper, all the vows she had made, all the vows. Like all of us, we make all the vows, and it's a big page of vows. Okay, all of us, each one of us make a lot of vows in the heaven. And then she read all the vows, and she said, "Oh, this." She told holy teacher, said, "No way." She make one of the vows because she said, make sure her mother receiving the Tao, father receive the Tao, because her mother and father play in the stock. At that time was everybody loved the money, the stock market. So crazy. She said, "No way." Her mother, father will receive the Tao, and then was to go with her. Okay. And then she said, "No, teacher, I promise you, this lifetime I never make this vow." And then holy teacher did it. Show her the view before she came down from the heaven. So all the angels are there, and teacher said, "There's a family, there's a husband and wife, and they want to have children." And then which angel waiting to go down become their children? Bring all the parents back. And then this lecture she said, the teacher said about us, it must be good. Must be a good situation, right? Good affinity. She raised her hand, said she want to go. So teacher showed her the view. She made a promise on that day, decided to go down, become their children. She said, "Oh no," because she said impossible. Her mother, parents will never receive a Tao or get a blessing. But since the accident she had, man, she was miserable. Because teacher took her to the heaven. It's very hard to bring you here back to heaven. You know why? You don't have a merit. There's no place for you to stand in the heaven. Even teacher took her back, just do the sightseeing. Said, there's no place for you, just sit there. What does that mean? What does that mean? No merit.
Not enough merit.
So you don't forget about sit there. You don't even not belong to there, to sit there, stand there. You don't even stand there. She said, "Oh no, is that you feel that bad?" But she came down because teacher showed her the vow she made in the heaven. So all of us make a lot of vows when we were in heaven. We may not remember all, but we did. Yeah. So that's her story. Interesting story. Yeah. So there are only a few people in the whole world today remember about their previous life. Still, some of them remember. Yeah, that's why I saw one TV program. The girl remembered what happened to her previous life.
A lot of little children,
little children they remember.
Especially if they die of a very horrible death.
Yeah.
They will remember the traumatic part of their past from the past life.
Well, most of us may not remember, but once we cultivate so much. But for the Buddha, like the Qigong Buddha, right? He reincarnated 72 times. He became Tiannan Buddha, Bodhisattva again, right? So for them, once they get in, they don't go away. They want to make sure they become Buddha again. So for all of us, the same thing. When we start to cultivate, propagate it out, we want to make sure we become the Buddhas this lifetime again. We don't want to halfway there and then stop. It will be, it will be in vain. Especially I just share one story with everybody. Yesterday I saw one story. This one transmitter's husband make a vegetarian vow. And she had a stomach cut 2/3 to stomach. So doctor told the family said she need all the fish, all the meat. So her transmitter's husband started to eat all the meat and fish. Then 6 months later, because of the husband's sister, did all those stuff. Then transmitter tell his husband tell her don't do that. So he remake the vegetarian vow again. What does that mean? You made a vow, you broke a vow, you make a vow again. Then they asked the great virtual saints, because he came to the beginning and said, what happened to him now? And then the great virtual of saints wrote down with the you make a vow, you promise, you broke it, how could the gods help you? Okay? The other thing is, he doesn't come to the temple that often at all. He doesn't come to the temple to help that often. He doesn't even come that often. So God really want to help, but it's kind of limited. And I read this, wow, better tell everybody, come to the temple, come to outside, help as much as we can. Because we don't know what kind of vow we made it, we don't know what kind of karma we have, especially the person who broke the vow, a vegetarian vow, need to make up that. He was not married to make up. So that's very critical just to share with if somebody has that situation.
Mm-hmm. So did he pass away?
Yeah, he passed away. Her husband passed away. Then they asked, when the great virtual saints came over to the reunion, they asked him, how is he going? How's he in heaven? And then the great virtual saints, tell his wife, the transmitter, so because he made a vow, he broke a vow. Then the other problem is he didn't come to temple to help that often. So how did God forgive him? You know what I mean? Because you make a vow, you broke the vow, then you have to pay, right? But usually it's pretty severe because you know they have to be locked in the jail in the heaven. But in this case,
he did go back.
Yeah, but he did go back. But the problem, you're locked there. Okay, so the problem is he didn't come to the temple because if he broke a vow, he make a vow again. Then he come to the temple to help all the time to help, or go outside society to help. He can create enough marriage, but he doesn't have enough marriage because he doesn't go to the temple at all. And so what happened? He doesn't have marriage. So what happened? And he's punished there. So unfortunately.
So in essence, it's because of causality, because he had karma previous life. That's why he was, that he did not have marriage to offset the karma. So even Buddhas wants to help. Causality had to play out.
Limited. But if he had enough marriage, he might be able to offset. But he doesn't have enough marriage because he doesn't come to the temple. That's what Great Virtual Saint said. He doesn't come to the temple, they're open. So that's the other problem.
Does he have any children?
Yeah, he's transmitter. His wife is transmitter.
So the children has to do more.
Yeah, but also just give us one lesson today because we need enough merit in our life to make offset our, especially those big karma like this person. He make a vow, he broke a vow, he remake a vow again. That's what happened. We don't want to make that kind of mistake. Yeah, just share with us.
So can husband benefit from wife's marriage?
No.
I know that generation, the offsprings and ancestors.
It does, but limited. Liao Liao Daxian, the same problem. She's transmitter. She did so many good things, but she's very arrogant. Yeah, she had about 30,000 temple members under her. 30,000 temple members under her. So what happened? But she doesn't get along with other transmitter, and also some areas she didn't do it right because sometimes she might certain money. For example, somebody wants to say, "I want to donate this money for the temple to build a temple," and she used for something else. So it's still in the temple. We don't. So teacher always said that when somebody specify what they want to use the money for, we cannot change it unless we ask the person and make sure the person agree before we switch. So, but she didn't ask that. So a lot of mistakes she had made. I know Julie can talk more. But that's why she got a lot of merits. But the problem is she made a lot of mistakes. What happened when she go back? She was locked in the jail, in the prisons in heaven. She locked there. So we have to be you want to get enough merits. We don't want to create bad force and then karma there. Yeah. But one for the cultivator, sorry to take one more. One thing for good cultivator, one thing very important. Cultivator made a mistake, right? But you have two choices. The God can say, okay, you made a mistake, you also have married, that you offset, and then that you reborn. But as a cultivator, it's not like usually they lock the person, punish the person. But the merit didn't go away. Once the punish is done, your merit is still there. So you still have a position, but you have to be punished for years. So that's the difference. Or they can offset, then you have to reborn. But usually they give you might have to punish a few years, and then. But the problem that on the other in the sense, you know what they did? Once the husband find out, children find out she's locked in the jail in the heaven, the whole family donate all the money, build a big temple in Taiwan. So donate all the money, build a temple, give a marriage to her. So later on she came out from the jail. Yeah, so now she's in different position. She's 慈化仙母. 普化仙母. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, thank you. So it's beautiful. So now it's different position. So we all know that's so. Not because we want to marry, get married as many as we can in our lifetime, as much as we can, because we never know when we will need it. Thank you. Thank you. Take a few minutes.
Like an insurance policy.
Insurance policy. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Insurance policy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
okay. So yeah. All right. So we continue. So inseparably join our heart and mind with heavens. Okay. So obviously, as long as of course, we're following our mission. If we conduct ourselves according to our conscience, follow our true nature, Buddha nature, then that is the heart and mind of heaven. So it's the same. Okay. Our life in this world is really, that's true. I mean, we can't live forever here, and who knows, we may not even live, 80 years, 90 years, some people die young. So again, it's unpredictable. So we need to do our best, make the best use of our time, right? Do not be too lax as to become reckless and create transgressions or faults, right? We don't want to, not only do we may not have enough merits, but then we create even more bad karma or demerits, and that's even worse. Then we have to make up even more. So we have to be careful. Don't let our guard down. Don't be suddenly tempted by something, and then that's really bad. All right. So always be aware, be mindful. Okay, how can we become sentimentally attached to the empty attractions and illusory forms, right? This whole world, everything, this material world, it's all illusory, okay? To what the Buddha would say, it's all illusory because it comes and goes, and it's constantly changing. It doesn't last forever. We can't take it with us, that we already know. So, why become attached to it? If we, the danger is if we could become attached to anything in this world, that attachment is a force. It's a strong force. Okay, on how strong that attachment is. When we have it becomes a strong force that pulls us towards it. So therefore, even though we might return to heaven, if we can't let go, we're going to come back. It's going to bring us back. Okay, that's this law, law of attraction. Okay, that force that pulls us. So we have to. That's why Buddhists keep telling us we have to let go of all sorts of attachments, any kind of attachments we have, even like emotional attachments, anything. Right. All right. So open our wisdom eye. Right. The true self or Buddha nature is the master. Use our wisdom and conscience. Don't use our senses, right? What we see, our eyes, our physical senses, eyes, what we hear, what we taste, touch, what we sense, all right? Because those are all the false, those are all based on forms. Of course, we still use these, they're like tools, these senses, but we use our wisdom, use our conscience to guide us how we make use of that information. And we don't fall for, I see something beautiful. Wow, I like that, and then you develop you have an attachment to it. Again, just realize that all this stuff is don't put too much emphasis on it, right? So the forms and images change in the blink of an eye, right? You say, well, it may take, last many years. From the point of view of a Buddha, from the point of view of eternity, it's nothing. It's a blink of an eye, right? So, that's something to always keep in mind. It's really not, they don't last forever. Only the Buddha nature is eternal and will never change, right? So we all have that Buddha nature. That's the true self. And the only thing that we bring with us when we leave is the karma that we created and our merits and virtues, right? Those are the only things. So, the more virtues and merits that we have, then we can offset the karma. All right. So, conduct ourselves in accord with our thoughts and knowledge, and quickly accumulate merits and virtues, right? So, always, we know, we have knowledge, right? We learn about these truths, the principles, but we also have to act accordingly, right? It's easy to say, oh, I know that, but if I don't do it, then it's meaningless. So what we learn, we put into action. All right. So forge ahead vigorously with determination to establish a firm, lasting, and sincere heart of Tao. Okay. So in other words, be in accord with the will of heaven. Right. So that's this again. The Tao is available now, but we don't know for how long. When the big disasters come, the final calamity, that's the big calamity, then, the Tao will no longer be publicly available. So, and that can come anytime, who knows? There's these geopolitical events that can happen overnight, right? So World War III can happen or anything. So we have to be, seize the opportunity. Don't let it pass, right? All right. So heaven's task or mission is performed by man. So be grateful that we can fulfill our vows, right? So earlier we said we all made vows. Certainly when we receive the Tao, we made vows too. And then as we progress along this path of cultivation, we make more vows. And so we need to fulfill our vows to return. And certainly heaven, again, the mission of heaven right now is this universal salvation of three realms. And so, but it needs to be performed by man, okay, so humans. And so we are the hands and feet, to perform this mission, right? Those who help themselves should also help. Okay, I'm not sure if this is correct, but is this?
It means that heaven and other people will also help those who will help themselves.
Oh, okay. So heaven, right? So we have to help ourselves for heaven and other people to help us, right? If we're not willing to help ourselves, then who's going to help us? And so, what that means is, sometimes it's an attitude thing and mindset, right? You hear this kind of this story of this guy, the flood has come, and the flood waters are rising, and then of course, sometimes they have the police boat, coming to try to save people, and he says, no, God's going to save me, right? He's very faithful, right? And he says, so they go away. He sends them off, and the water keeps rising. Goes up to the roof, and the helicopter comes and says, "Oh, come on board." He says, "No, God's going to save me," right? So and eventually, of course, he's unwilling to be rescued by people. He thinks God's going to somehow through some miracle, right? And so he dies, and he goes to heaven and says, God, why didn't you save me? I did. I sent those people to save you, right? So, it's kind of people get kind of attached on certain forms or in some idea, their concept of how God is going to save them, and they don't think that God works in mysterious ways, right? Works through people, right? So a lot of things that happen, we encounter people, we encounter someone just as we are in need. We have a certain need, and we miraculously encounter the person who can just help us with our need. And so that is how heaven helps us. Of course, if we are sincere, then that can, again, our sincerity can touch heaven, and so can move heaven. And we just have to be able to we have to be aware, okay, open-minded, and to see these signs. Right? A lot of times we get signals, we get signs happening in everyday life, but sometimes we don't realize it. It's interesting. There's a few weeks ago, it was Sunday after at the end of the day, classes. I go to my apartment and I see, wow, the kitchen water faucet is running, or it's kind of like it wasn't closed, closed. Right? So the water is still running. So I turn it off. I thought that was kind of odd. And then I go to the bathroom, same thing. It's like, wow, how can this be? Who opened these and didn't turn them off?
Your mother.
Well, no. No, I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, whoever, did they didn't close, turn off the water. Then the next day I found out, well, one of in another unit, their water heater broke and is leaking. And it's like, wow. As soon as I heard that, I said, wow, I made that connection. It's like, wow, the water running in my faucet is kind of trying to hint to me that there's something wrong, that there's water leaking somewhere, running.
Told you it's your mother.
But I didn't at the time. I didn't think of that. But so sometimes we have these signs. Heaven is trying to give us a hint, but we don't realize it. But that really, we have to use our wisdom to really be aware, to really realize what it means. But usually we don't have that wisdom.
Since you talk about this one, I think every day we need to practice, get rid of all the affinity, do not raise one thought. Practice, close our eyes. Usually I close my eyes and practice. Okay? Once we practice every day, okay, the first thing will come out is sixth sense, very sensitive. Very sensitive. That's why lecture they will talk about it. He says sunny day. He said his Buddha nature tell him bring the umbrella out today. He said no way, look at the sun today. So he didn't do it. But by the time he came back this afternoon, there was thunderstorm. He couldn't even get home. So he said that he always said that he got so many umbrella at home because every time he went out, he didn't think it's going to rain, right? His Buddha nature always tell him bring the umbrella out, right? He said no. So every time he had to buy an umbrella, he bought an umbrella and come home. So he got so many umbrella at home, So that's why he always said. So practice every day. All of us should do that. Teacher encourage us to do that day. A lot of time today usually we drive this road, right? We always make a right turn. Our Buddha nature say, no, don't make a right turn. Today make a left turn. Make a left turn. Don't make a right turn. Sometimes we still say, no way. Something's gonna happen. So try to do it every day. We're gonna find out more and more. It happened to me last week. I said, tell myself, said, my sixth sense thought said today you gotta do different. And then I was on the way to the Friday to your mother's funeral. But the Buddha nature said no, today should go the other way. I said no, I'm not gonna try this way. So I stuck on the traffic. Got stuck there. So Buddha nature tell you try different things today. I'm still no, I should still keep doing what I'm used to.
You got there real early.
Yeah, but I got home. I got back.
Oh, you mean going home?
Yeah. I'm 2:30. I was supposed to come in at 12:30. I got back 2:30 in the afternoon to go back to work.
Did you get back to work?
Yes. But still stuck on the road.
Actually, that happened to me too, because last week there was a really big fire on the turnpike, and then it took my mom 3 or 4 hours to get home from work. And that day, for some reason, I followed somebody else's car. I thought maybe they had a shortcut, and I went a totally different way than I normally would have. So it took me an hour to get home, and it took her it would normally take me 30 minutes, but because of the fire, people were backed up for 4 or 5 hours. And I just happened to go the wrong way, and I ended up home earlier than I should have.
You're very wise.
No, it's
follow the Buddha nature.
Yeah. Somebody's watching over you.
Every day we should do it. Every day, okay? That's why we have a temple member. He has so the special capability now. He already have that ability. Whatever his wife did, he knew that already. That's all. This can come in naturally when we start to do that every day. Okay.
That's bad.
That's bad. See?
Okay.
It's not just that, because he went to the temple, right? Because he went to the temple, and Qigong Buddha talked to all the invisibles. Because a lot of spirits around us, right? They talk to each other, temple. He can hear teacher and talk to them. He can hear it. And because teacher go with him, right? Taking about. And all those invisible spirits always say, Qigong Lao Si Hao, holy teacher, you okay? Yeah, how are you? He said, many. So he can hear every one of them. So by the time he got home, he can hear that too. Okay? So Buddhas, they are also at home. So I just hear last week I heard one story that Judy told me one story. There's one Dharma class. Only 2 class members. And then you know what happened? The transmitter canceled the Dharma class. And then a few days later, our Holy Qigong teacher channeled in and tell the transmitter, you know, that day, Dharma class, teachers brought in more than 2,000 people want to come to the class, to listen to the class. So he canceled it. He canceled it.
More spirits.
Yeah, because teacher brought more than 2,000 spirits come to the Dharma class.
But I thought the people have to be there in order for.
Yeah, but those 2 people, how many
okay,
they have?
that's right.
And then all the people, they're old. So teacher said he brought more than 2,000 spirits come to the classes. You guys cancel the class. We think only 2 class members. Let's cancel it, right? You know what I mean? And we forgot. Teacher told the transmitter he brought 2,000 class people, spirits to come to the class. So we didn't see that. So where are they? So interesting. Teacher said that in the to them, to the transmitter. So we are here, right? Listen to class. Our ancestors may be here because we are here. They can be here too to listen to the class. So that's a beautiful thing. And then when people have a temple at home, our ancestor is home as a staff member too. Do you know that? When you have family temple at home, you have class at home, okay? Then our ancestors as a staff members, they help all the spirits coming to listen to the classes. So they are staff members too in their home. Staff members.
I would be scared.
Yeah, so sometimes we didn't see that, right? That's
I would be scared.
The Chen Wenxu, that's the guys who have special capability now. He said that. He said that he doesn't know that.
He saw.
Now he can hear that they are talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. You mentioned that his ancestors were there, watching. But doesn't the souls also reincarnate so that if they already have a new body, how is it that they are around there still after a long time? I'm just curious.
Okay, go ahead. Anybody want to listen? Sometimes they go to reincarnate, sometimes they don't. They are still in the underworld. Depends. Like a lecture, like a transmitter Jin. Okay, transmitter Jin.
Yeah, no, he's asking.
His sister, right?
Huh?
你的爸爸，你的阿姨。
Oh, my aunt.
Yeah. Last time when we had the unit with the transmitter Jin's sister, she is still in the world to reincarnate. She's still in the heaven, right? This time, I think two years ago, we have reunion with her, talked about when her spirit come down to the temple. You know what? Holy teacher said he went to reincarnate already in China. So it depends. Some of them, most of them, they don't go. Depend on who they are. Okay.
By any chance, is there any indication how long on average takes between one lifetime?
Oh my goodness.
It depends on the punishment, right? I mean, if the karma, if there's some, I mean, to be in the underworld, probably, I don't know if it's how severe the karma, but yeah, they have to be punished for each thing, right? So then how long it lasts, we don't know. I mean, in these different realms, the spiritual realms, the time is different than our time. Okay, it could be slower, it could be long, whatever. So it takes longer, actually, I think.
Let's one lecture talk about this. What happened to the underworld? That's the next 那位是Mr. Wang. You know what happened to him? Okay, 就是徐杰是个姓王，就是他去地府里面先我。Let me talk about what happened. Because he saw what happened to people in the underworld. Okay, he saw those people suffering. First thing he talked about somebody suicide. Somebody suicide, right? Okay, but their life is not to the end yet, so they are not belong to the underworld yet. But it's suicide. You know what happened? At that time, if this person jumped from the building at the 11 o'clock from the high building to the floor, every time, so he jumped, then he or she go to the line and wait until the time come up. That time she jump again. So keep jumping, keep doing the same thing. Okay, okay. Then by the time maybe the life is up, maybe he or she's already 65 years old. But when she died, she was 45. So that was 25 years, 20 years plus. The person has to suffer, keep doing the suicide. Okay, at that time.
That's scary.
Yeah, so the person suicide, whatever how they suicide, they will keep doing the same thing, and they don't do it again. So that's why he said. The other thing is, whoever commit in our lifetime, for example, right now I'm doing somebody doing the painting, then they go to underworld, right? You know what happened? So there's all they find out what we have done, right? Then okay, you make this mistake, right? Then they go through the punishment. Okay, keep doing the punishment until it's over. You can keep doing that, and then when you get punishment, right? Then you wait in the line again. And everybody go to punishment, you wait in the line again. Keep doing that until you pay due for what you have done in the crime.
But I have another question. If that's the case, then the person in the underworld is already paying karma. So when he's born again, he should be karma free.
But this time he's not coming free yet. In the underworld, they're paying the due. Okay?
Right, but he's paying karma.
No. Well, no. Actually, no. No. That's not. That's punishment. It's separate from the karma. Okay, but I mean, you did something really bad.
Yeah.
You're going to be punished in addition to paying back the karma. Yes.
And then
karma is only
Karma's in this world. Yeah. So if you did something to someone, obviously that's going to get paid back to that person.
Yeah.
In hell, that's a different story. You can still get punished, just like, well, I mean, I guess in this world.
What happened? So you keep punished until you get into the line, and then okay, your turn is over. Then you come back to wait for that. The time you're waiting, the most time you're scared. The time you're so scared because everybody waiting on the line, you see the punishment. Okay, so. All kind of, I know you can imagine what happened. Then, you know what happened? When you have finished this punishment, you go back to the officer there. Okay, what's the next crime you committed? So next line, next item. So you already finished item 1, right? Now item number 2. Okay, what you have done. Then go to different location, get punishment. They do the same thing, keep doing that. So it's line by line. So that's how people doing it. We didn't know what happened underworld. Then he came back to tell everybody what happened there. Yeah, so it's interesting so it's good to know. I didn't know that either until I said, wow, he tell us all what he saw. Yeah, so he was there. Go ahead.
The punishment, not because of sense of kind, because they try to teach us, right? So they teach our spirit.
You won't do again.
You have done, you have to experience. See how other people feel. If you're suiciding, then the suicide so many times.
They
so
get
many
scared.
times. You get scared when you're reborn, then you don't
Suicide.
do that.
But people don't remember
Like people
when
drive
they
carefully,
No, but
but they
and
still do
they
the
go to
same.
underworld,
There's
they will
something
go to
maybe-
church.
Still there.
There's something in there.
They can fall from the cliff. And that's the lesson he has to take many times.
Just keep doing that.
Yeah. So
Until they're scared to death.
Next lifetime they
Will not do it.
I have to drive very careful. Right? And also there's a temple master in Japan. His name is Mo Guangliang. Because he not door, to try to ask people to be his Tao. Tao is so good, so he gave up his job and he just door by door.
How many people? How many doors?
200,000.
Doors.
doors. And he
How
got kicked
some of
out
them famous
for sure,
in that
right?
door, even.
Many of them. But also, some people, so touch heart and they open more than 20
Brass
temples.
temples.
Yes, and that's why he touched the heaven. So, Holy Teacher said, you have my permission to uplift your long time and says, okay, how many years was that? More than 1,300 years. He says.
Everybody wants to be his
He not
ancestor.
received out. More than 1,000 years.
All the ancestor benefit.
Let's go
That's
now.
the one.
You don't even know your ancestors.
Who cares? As long as somebody is benefiting.
Permission to uplift him. So see how lucky we are. 1,000 years ago, a famous person never received that. We are just ordinary people, but we can receive that. So, go ahead, do more.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The more we know, the better we are, know what to do, how to do it. You know what I mean? It's something like me, I didn't know that until he told us all the story. I said, oh shoot, what happened in the world? You know what I mean? Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
And thank you.
All right, thanks. All right, so to be self-aware and aware of others, we must be mindful of being benevolent or merciful, compassion, just like a living saint or Buddha in this world, right? So obviously, saints and Buddhas, it's all about compassion, benevolence, mercy. So that's what we need to first. So that awareness, that self-awareness, is very important. And then once we have that self-awareness, is that Buddha nature awareness, okay? And
also awake others to the Buddha.
So we, being self-aware, being awake, what the Buddha would say is awakened, then to also help others become awakened as well. That's really what all the Buddhas and saints, their bodhisattvas, their mission or their vow is to help others, to help others become awakened. So tightly grasp this, hold on to this precious golden thread, right? That's our link to heaven through our introducers, guarantors, the transmitting master, our holy teachers, right? And Maitreya Buddha, right? That is our link to heaven. So we talk about the Buddha nature as being, especially in when talking about humans, right? We talk about the Buddha nature is separate from the human nature, right? The human nature, we have the emotions, right? We say the Buddha nature doesn't have those human emotions. But everything comes from that Buddha nature. The Buddha nature creates, you can say it creates our consciousness, creates the mind, okay? So the mind is what suffers, right? The mind is the one that experiences things. And so, the way it experiences is different from the Buddha nature. The Buddha nature, it's unaffected by anything. But the mind that's created, that experiences, depends on the attachments, depends on all sorts of things from our mind. So when we're in the underworld, you have no physical body, right? But the Buddha nature is there, but it also has that, it creates that mind. The mind is still there, the consciousness. Right, so because through our attachments and desires, we still have those emotions, we still keep holding on to emotions, right? Those are still there. And so that's what causes the suffering there. If a Buddha is in the underworld, they're enlightened, they don't have any attachments, they're not going to suffer in the underworld. They don't feel it, they don't sense it.
Yeah, that's the difference right there. See?
Right.
So the sixth patriarch, he's in the underworld, right? He's in the underworld, but he's not suffering. Why? Because he has no, you can say no mind, no consciousness, no desires, no attachments, no nothing. So he's just pure Buddha nature, right? Pure
they have a
nature.
mind, they have a consciousness, but it's not unattached to anything that would cause...
you can call it that. Yeah. But
it's the Buddha mind.
Yeah, you can call it Buddha mind, Bodhi mind, yeah. So, because they are not attached, they're
unaffected by any external
thing. By what we call the boiling oil, whatever the stuff that's in the underworld, right? Whereas ordinary humans, those who are not enlightened, we still have a Buddha nature in there, but because we still have attachments, so we have all these mind, consciousness, you can say sensations. You can call those type, maybe not human sensations, but different type of sensations. And it is that what's being suffered, what's causing the suffering. Okay, in the underworld. You see what I'm saying? That's how they suffer in the underworld. Okay,
Right.
that's the difference. All right.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Can I offer what I read from other and agrees with from the Vedas? Apparently, according to them, we have 8 levels, and we have a gross body and a subtle body. The gross body is made of earth, water, air, fire, and ether. And when we leave, the soul leaves, it decays. It goes back to the earth. But the subtle body travels with the soul. And the subtle body, according to them, is made out of the mind, the intelligence, and the false ego.
Yeah.
So maybe those 3 are the ones who suffer.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
you can call it that.
Right.
But they're not Buddha nature.
Sure,
They're
they're not
created
Buddha.
by the Buddha nature.
Right.
You see, they
How
still
the Buddha
created by.
nature?
Yeah. Created. It's part of. You can say it's
Yeah,
part
you
of,
can
but
say
it's
part of,
created.
but,
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I
So.
know Buddha nature.
So yeah, so ultimately, we are in control of, whether we want to suffer or not. It's all in our mind, you can say. It's all in our mind, how we view things, our perspective. If we can get to the point of like a Buddha where no attachments to anything, then we won't suffer. Okay, so that
That's
suffering.
what they mean by purity.
Yeah.
Purity, pure. It's like there's no defilement, no
Yeah.
affliction.
Right.
In Buddhism, they call it affliction, defilement, none of that. So therefore, there's no suffering.
Yeah.
By definition, there's nothing to suffer, right? If there's no affliction, there's no suffering, right? That's it. That's tautological.
Right.
That's the level of Buddha. That's why the first level, 四句句，就是说 people feel because our body is not clear, and then our mind, because we see this life is suffering. That's why we want to avoid the reincarnation. Next level as Buddhas, it means everything is empty. It's true empty. Okay, so they knew those all the stuff, even our body. They knew. Okay, one day they have to go. So they only see the spirit words only. So even they suffer, they don't feel suffering. Human beings, we feel we are suffering. I'm so poor, I'm so suffering. We feel the emotional suffering or financial suffering. From Buddha point of view, they don't see that as a suffering. It's part of their process to become a Buddha. So Buddha don't feel that way. Okay, even through the cultivation period, they are not feeling that pain. Okay, so that's the a little different. So we need to get to that level. Just tell us like the lecture, post lecture talk. Our body, we suffer, even we feel suffer only this 50 years, 100 years. Okay, then after that one, you can have a 10,000, 100,000 years of good life on a spiritual world. So that's the most important thing. Even we're going to cultivate these 50 plus years again. But the problem is, the other thing, the teacher can guarantee us 10,800 years. If we cultivate 10,800 years to go back to heaven. But after that, it's depends on individuals' cultivation and virtues.
Your virtue.
Yeah, depend on individuals. Are we staying there, or we again, or we have a vow to come down, or we say we have no choice to come down, or depend on individuals. So teachers say we only can guarantee that period, but we cannot guarantee forever. So it depends on. That's why we want to cultivate. That's why we want to do the don't waste the one thought period all activities. That one will help us prolong those 10,000 years. After 10,000 years, 10,800 years, we will continue. Okay, so that's what Buddha nature. That's very important.
That's what supreme enlightenment implies, right? Okay, 上正正, right? That's what Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, right? Okay, that's what it means. That's what supreme enlightenment means. Supreme enlightenment means that you can transcend beyond causality, karma. So you can just stay up in absolute heaven or whatever forever, literally forever. You don't have to. So, because we are not at that level, you can say to some degree we are enlightened. To some degree we are, because there are really 41, right? 那个华严经, right? 41 levels of 41层的那个菩萨的自觉, Bodhisattva enlightenment. You know that? There are 41 levels, or 42. I forgot. There's something. There's supreme enlightenment. There's wonderful enlightenment, equal enlightenment, and then there's 40 other levels of Bodhisattva enlightenment. So to some degree, we are in that we make it first level, I don't know, whatever, okay? That will allow you to stay up in heaven, like Transmitter Lin said. But only, like, maximum guarantee only this one kalpa or this one hui, right? One hui, yuan hui, yeah, it's one small kalpa, you can call it one small kalpa, 10,800 years. But that's it. That's it. The rest depends on our level. So if you reach a supreme level, like a Buddha, then you don't have to come back. I mean, because you transcend karma. So literally, that means they could stay. I mean, they don't, but they could. But they could. Yeah. They're literally, yeah, everywhere. You can say that too. Yeah, they're literally everywhere. They're literally the whole. so it's,
yeah, they come and go as they please. Now, because they have no attachment, they are not influenced by any external thing, anything external, right? Tathagata, right? So yeah, so because we have attachments, you know, because, well, yeah, face it, we're not enlightened like the Buddha. There are not too many people like the Buddha. So that's the supreme enlightenment. So yeah, but our holy teacher is very merciful. Give us 10,800 years to be the heaven, to not suffer, but we probably still have attachments, so we're still going to have to come back. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. You can call it attachment. It's just that we're not pure.
Yeah, we're not yet
at that pure level. It's like, right? You know, you can say, oh, it's pretty clear, but it's still microscopic sediments that you don't see yet. So that's still not pure. Yeah. That's still not pure, and that's still karma. You're still subject to karma.
Yeah. Last 2 weeks, I just get one once I study book, I find out the lecture Liu, because I'm going to talk about Diamond Sutra next week, and I find out one important why teacher want us to not get rid of all the affinity, to not waste one thought. Why do we want to do that? Just bring it out of our super capability? No. Do you know why? Because I didn't know that. I started to understand it more. For them, in all the lifetimes before this life, all these thousands of lives, you know what we have done? We've done so many things already together. We don't know it's good or bad already there. So a lot of causes are there. The causes are there. The reason, because teacher don't want us to raise all the thought. The reason we raise all the thought, we create all the affinities. So those cause and affinity combine. What we think about the affinity, we combine becomes result, consequence. So we have to suffer. But those causes we have done for many lives ago. If we don't have a thought today or affinity today, those thoughts are not mature enough. Right. Not ready to the time.
Yes,
time is not ready. So the teacher asks us to not raise one thought.
But that's to delay.
No. But once you do not raise a thought, get all affinity, those causes will not mature in.
Yeah.
That's true.
If we can get to there.
But to get rid of it, you still need merit.
But
that's still important.
The problem is so many. That's why I look at
lecture
though talk about it. So in all those lives, we have go through thousands of lives before this lifetime. There's no guarantee we only did a little bit. We do so many of bad karma there. We don't even know. The only way to try to avoid it, because do not raise one thought, do not get rid of all the affinity, those causes will not mature enough. So we can reduce a lot of them. So it will help us go through this cultivation period. So that's why sometimes I thought, wow, those causes will not mature, and then because we don't raise the affinity it's like 1 plus 3, 2 equals 3. So I have 1, but don't have 2, means will not come to 3. So that become very critical. Interesting, the concept. I didn't know that until last week, and I said, oh, this is interesting concept, because let us know why we want to do this practice exercise. There's a reason behind that. Because I always say, okay, we want to do the Buddha nature out. But there's other causes, other reasons there. Don't let those causes mature. Because they are still there. Everybody has some of them there. But for Buddha, they don't let those causes become mature. So it's interesting concept. We didn't know that. I didn't know it until 2 weeks ago. So interesting.
Right. So yeah, I mean, the karma is it's all. So we have to be careful what's in our mind, not just what we do externally. It's in our heart and mind.
What we think.
So we have to be careful. Always be clear. Yeah, you're gonna either create it or create the conditions for that karma to be, to manifest. So we
very
have to be
critical now.
careful.
Yeah.
That's
So-
why clear the mind.
Well, that's what they say, right? If you focus on something, right?
It's gonna
focus
happen.
Right, it's gonna happen. So it's almost like that.
Right.
It's literally like that because it's our true nature.
It creates
so,
this force
so
that
power
that
that
happen.
that it can create that. It
Yeah.
can create literally reality,
Right.
or something like that. We
Because
call it
causes
reality.
are there, that's why.
Right. Yeah, because there are causes that already they're seeds.
They were planted before.
So, right. That already
Years ago,
planted. So because if you set your mind to it,
It's gonna.
you let it mature. You let it germinate, right? You let it, and then
You
it
know
will
that.
happen, right?
So if you avoid the thought, then it will not happen.
So one way to cut it off is to say, let go of all karma and do not have any thoughts. That's true. But
Not easy.
right? It's not easy. That's number one. But that's one side. That's more internal. That's internal, right? The external part is still if you have merits and virtues that can also offset the existing karma. You see what I'm trying to say? And also future. You see? So you need both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to get back to this. I'm going to explain this golden thread a little bit more,
Yeah.
talk about that, because it's very important that the Buddhas and saints keep reminding us that the golden thread is very important. The golden thread, again, it's our link to heaven. If, that part of that link is, we have, because we have certain affinity, maybe karmas with the people, that are introducer, right, to bring us into the temple to receive the Tao. Now, the introducer, of course, also has they're part of that golden thread, that link as well, right? So there's an affinity, and so, our holy teacher says, right, we don't want to jump from one temple to another, go all over the place. You don't establish roots. Okay, you have to establish roots. So when we're in one place, we receive the Tao, one place, we cultivate, go to a temple, we cultivate there, practice. That's where we kind of try to establish some roots. If we don't establish roots, we're just going to get blown away in the wind. Yeah, like a tumbleweed, a root. So we have to establish the roots. Okay, so obviously, if let's say we happen to be here and we receive the Tao here, but then we don't live here or we go somewhere else, and there may be a different, temple somewhere else. It depends on, the obviously the situation, that can change. We can maybe if generally the way it works is if we want to go to another temple, then the transmitting masters have to, get in touch and say, oh, is it okay for this person to go to your temple, because they happen to live there and we don't have a temple there to learn. But still, you should always remember where your root is, right? Where did you come from? Where did you receive the Tao? And all that. So don't forget that. And ultimately, when you have the chance, you go back to where you come from. Okay. So that is, basically the basic idea of this, right? Because if you keep moving around and there's no, so teacher also said, you can't have your both feet on two different boats, right? Two different Dharma boats, right? Because if they go in different directions, what are you going to do, right? Yeah, you're in trouble. So you have to stick with one, right?
The holy teacher used to, I remember when I came class years ago, we have right now probably people settle down a little more better situation. Old days, right? A lot of people go to different temple. And then could be running today here, running tomorrow someplace else. And then the teacher said, you are in the two temples. You are two in Dharma board. One day you may not get on any one of them. What does that mean? What does that mean? You did not even go back. See what I mean? So that's dangerous. Sometimes we didn't know that. I didn't know that. I said, I saw this person running around, right? Sometimes you can see the other temple. I heard somebody someplace else. Okay? And these people are running around. At the end, usually we don't know that where we go until one day which place we went to, right? But a lot of people, those people even made the mistake, locked in the jail, transmitter or lectures in the heaven. There's a jail there, there's a person there. A lot of them are leading leaders there. But in the lifetime, they didn't know they're going to be locked there. If they knew that, would they do that? Would they do that? No. But the problem is human beings didn't know that until the last minute. By the time they passed away, they find out, oh, God, I got to go there. I didn't know that because that's
too late.
We don't want to be in their shoes.
You know, especially we have one leader. We're going to talk that in the future. But that's what happened to our leaders. It's not our leader here. It's about 17. The leader after sent the patriot, and he was locked in the jail later on. So that happens because at that time, 18 patriot got a mandate, but they didn't believe it. So they're still thinking about someone should be leading the temple. So they didn't follow our 18 patriot. Those the people's senior leader transmitters, they didn't follow 18 patriot. Those people are locked in the jail in the heaven because they guide people to the wrong path. So it's interesting. Good to have this kind of concept. Especially golden thread, very, very important. Okay, very, very important. Whatever we want to go, we always have to tell transmitter, our direct transmitter, let them know he or she should talk to the temple on the transmitter on the other side, get agreement before we can go. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. All right. So we'll continue here, and then it says, expound and propagate this marvelous Tao in this moment. Right. So this is the time that the Tao is being propagated, and we are the mouth, the mouthpiece of heaven. We speak for heaven, right, and spreading the Tao, spreading the truth to propagate the Tao. All right. And so, all right. So it says, understand. All right. So today our destinies have come together, so we can join in this class and be truly happy. If you can think about in a Dharma class, how many people attend a Dharma class, and how compared to how many people who receive the Tao, it's very small percentage wise, and it's like not everyone. You invite them to come, and they don't come for whatever reason, right? All sorts of reasons, and so. There maybe I don't know. Time is not right or whatever. Karma. Karma is also a factor. That's those who can attend, very fortunate, right? We just heard that when you attend a Dharma class, actually. Well, yeah. We have some previous foundation in cultivation, plus.
At least.
Plus. It can reduce some of our our faults, our things like that, right? That we've done in the past. It can help us help reduce.
That's senior Jin transmitters told us yesterday because we were here. Jin said that the other temple they have a 3-day Dharma class. You know what happened? And the Buddha said they reduced 200.
200. I don't know what.
I don't know how is a bed or big or small. 200. The little mistake they have made, those people cannot remember faults they have made. So this 3-day Dharma class, they reduce 200 of them for each person whoever is Dharma class. Interesting.
So it's many benefits to attending the Dharma class. Okay, and it's also for our ancestors as well. They get to.
But also reduce some of our.
But reduce our own. So that's why it's always good to come.
We didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a cultivation.
Yeah, it's part of
cultivation. Yeah. So it's more internal because you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, you do have some quote unquote internal merit from attending Dharma class. Right. I mean, so it makes sense. It makes sense. So it's rather because you are doing it. You are physically there as opposed to say, oh yeah, I believe, but you don't do anything. So that's different. That's one has more merit than the other, right? So.
Okay. All right. So this momentous time, right? This is a very special time. Cannot be delayed. A clear heart and mind is not confused, right? So make sure that our mind, we are clear about the truth about the Tao, about cultivation, about our mission, right? This is seize the moment. Okay. This is. Don't let it pass, and don't waste our time on frivolous things about things that are not important. Now is about the time to be able to comprehend the true principles of Tao, eliminate wandering or unwanted thoughts, and concentrate wholeheartedly. Right. So these, again, it's talking to the Dharma class members who, So once you can attend a Dharma class, then hopefully you can understand those truths and principles, right, that are being taught. Right. So. And so don't have wandering thoughts. So we concentrate, right? All right, so this is, let's see. Oh, okay, it continues here. Okay, so if we are inspired and motivated, our ancestors and descendants will benefit. Heaven and man will praise us with joy, right? So obviously, hopefully, all this, coming to the temple, learning about things, hopefully we get inspired along the way and become more motivated to progress along this path. Heaven looks at us and wants to see that what's in our heart, that we have that sincerity, that faith to take on, to cultivate ourselves and take on the mission, to eventually, that's the path to becoming truly enlightened and becoming a Buddha. So obviously, heaven and man will they'll see that and praise us if we can willing to take that path. All right, it's a commitment too, of course, for us. We want to commit to it. I just don't. Oh, today I feel so inspired. Unfortunately, we see that in the Dharma class, right? Sometimes people seem inspired, but then they don't come back again. So it's like very short, and they forget or whatever. I don't know. They go back to their ways.
One concept is very important because I didn't know that until about months ago. The reason because our one temple member, Mr. Chen, said because he said for us. We have a body, it's much easier to cultivate. Like, remember we're taking a bow, learning how to take a bow, maybe 20-30 minutes, we learn how to do it. But for those people who didn't know how to take a bow, because usually they don't come to the temple all the time, by the time they went back to heaven, sometimes took one of the spirits 7 years. The spirit still learning how to take a bow. 7 years already. 30 years to 20-30 minutes to take a bow. They learn 7 years in the heaven. Because at that time it's much slower, okay? It's not like because you don't have a body. So it come back to one of the other good important problem here. When we learn the Buddha nature class, he said we will learn like Mr. Chen, the Tao Chi. He learned 10 years because he got so many painful in the body, so much pain in his body. So take him 10 years, he can take us 30 years. Him 10 years, we will take 30 years. We don't have that much pain in our body. Take the other spirits, will take 2,000 years. 2,000 years to learn and get same result. So all the other spirits will take 2,000 years to get to that level. So when we have a body, it's much quicker, much faster. So we didn't know that until we thought by the time I go back to heaven, I can continue to learn. But at that time, the speed, the performance is much different. Okay. So sometimes we didn't know that until I saw this person told us. I said, wow. We better learn now. So don't wait. And then the other concept he always said that. So everybody look at all these people, right? They die, they go to heaven. It's so beautiful in the heaven, right? He said, if we don't cultivate well in the human world, we go back. We will continue to cultivate. We will be at the Shodian, the place only for cultivator. To cultivate. Yeah, and then we're going to be like there to cultivate. It's not in the heaven there to enjoy the life. So it's a little different. So take the time, cultivate in this lifetime. Don't wait until one day. So we go back, we will continue to cultivate. At that time, the process, the progress is much different. Yeah, could be we do 1 year here, could be 1,000 years or 100 years there. So we don't want to do that. Okay?
Yeah, it's the same thing like in cultivating in this world. Right? In the past, cultivators like monks, right? The problem is it's like being in heaven cultivating. They're cultivating in seclusion from not facing all these things that we have to face for us, right, in the everyday world, and that takes longer to cultivate because you're not tested. You're not being tested every day, right? It's just basically cultivating in the mind, and if we don't have that true discipline, it's very difficult. So once we're facing all these real, actual issues in our cultivation, that instant feedback that can help us as long as we're aware and that and we want to cultivate, then that can help us more quickly to cultivate, right? So cultivating in a vacuum is very difficult. So we cultivate in the actual world. So right now in this time, that's why they say, you can cultivate in this lifetime and become a Buddha. It's true, because we're facing all our karmas, facing all these sorts of situations and different people all the time. And so that can allow us, if we have the right mindset, we can quickly, you can say, reach the higher levels more quickly. Okay. So, all right. So, we must develop and manifest our abilities in order to make a contribution, striving to be our best. Our aspiration cannot be defeated, or we can achieve our goal, our mission, right? To make a contribution, meaning contributing to the overall cause, the mission, right? The achieving the goal, helping heaven, right? So, develop we're all resourceful, talented people. We, obviously not everyone's different, but we do our best. We put in our best effort, and don't, we always try to. Well, my personal attitude is always push ourselves. We push ourselves to the limit, because we don't really know what our limits are until we push ourselves.
What teachers said this Dharma class in California? Teachers said we only use about 10%, maximum 30% of our potential. Holy teacher said this time in the Dharma class, he said all of us could be used only 10%, maximum 30% of our potential so far. So with the other 70% we never even touched. So we can do more. Teachers said the total.
Yeah, because we create our own obstacles. We create our own limitations. It's all in our mind. We can overcome those. We have to overcome them in our mind. Okay, so we have unlimited ability. Really, our Buddha nature does, and so we can overcome a lot of things. It's all in the mind, right? So don't be afraid of being slow, but be afraid of stopping or standing still. Arouse our faith and confidence. Do not hesitate. Right. So again, it's not a race to the end. Okay, how fast we can get there. As long as we're going in the right direction, we don't stop. All right, because if we stop or stand still, time keeps flowing, and so we're actually falling behind. Right, so we have to keep up with the time at least, and moving forward. So always moving forward. It doesn't have to be fast. Everyone goes at their different pace.
Since you talk about this one, it's very important during the cultivation period. We're gonna see, like you said, obstacle, difficulty, challenges. Somebody gonna criticize us. Somebody give us a hard time. Those maybe are sent by the Buddhas to come to test us. Okay. So don't be discouraged and say, oh, I don't want to come to temple anymore because I don't want to see the person anymore. I don't like it. Okay? He or she could be sent by the Buddha to come test us. So we got to be ready for that test. Okay? But say it's good for us because Buddha always said, you are qualified to be tested. You should be happy about it. You are qualified.
Above the other.
You are qualified to be tested now. So you should be happy for that because not everybody can be qualified for the test. Okay? So, but when test comes, always tell us, let it go. Okay? Sometimes if it makes somebody criticize us, if it's true, say, man, I got to reflect ourselves to change that. If it's not true, let it go. Don't put it inside, deep inside. Say, I'm not coming to a temple. I'm upset. I'm angry. Whatever emotion coming out, then whose loss is that? Our loss, our own losses, right? If we don't come to the temple. Who's gonna cry?
Ancestors.
They are crying because we don't come. That's the difference. We don't cultivate. Okay.
The key is our individual egos. We really have to
get rid of the ego.
Yeah. It's not that you shouldn't have self-confidence or maybe some self-pride, but we have to be very careful, right? Don't let our ego, we try to have to, get rid of that ego. You can say like no self, right? Or self, right? Self, right? Ego, no self, right?
It's hard.
Yeah, it's not easy because everything in society is always based on the ego. Yes. I mean, everything.
Me.
Yeah, on society. You see all these successful people. You don't think they're egomaniacs? They're egomaniacs. Steve Jobs, he's an egomaniac.
Yeah.
Trump, all of these guys are egomaniacs. They are. So society tends to promote that and admire people who have egos. All these rap stars, pop stars, movie stars, they have huge egos. They all have huge egos. Oh, my name should be above your name. Huge egos. So we have to be very, very mindful, very careful, and that's where awareness and all that stuff. So that's why it's not easy. You're right. It's perfectly not, because society is basically teaching us that. So that's why later on, I think the next two lines down, we can't go with the flow, right? We have to be careful with with the society, So we have to be careful. You have to go against it, right?
Holy teacher said in Dharma class last year, Holy Qigong teacher said that. He said, so especially in America, people are chasing the fame, power, money, become gongli. Means very gongli. It means people want to see the benefit, benefit
right away.
Right away. Yeah. So teacher said, you got to come back to your conscience, Buddha nature. Very pure. We cannot go that path with them. We go that path with them, we will be lost one day. We will not become a Buddha. Very hard to become a Buddha like that. So we need to always reflect ourselves, come back to our conscience and Buddha nature again. Very, very, very important. He will remind us in Dharma class last year.
Yeah. All right. All right. So today we have already started on this bright and promising road. Right? Only by finishing what we have started can this be an outstanding or achievement. So once we started, we don't want to. I mean, of course, we should finish what we started. So it would be a waste, really, to have received this Tao and we don't cultivate. Because then
reach our destination.
Yeah, we won't reach our destination. We will have to start over in the next life. Right, so this is the best chance.
Next life or next Kalpa.
Well, yeah, I mean, we don't know when the next life is going to be. So
we don't know when the Tao is available.
Right.
Also, when the mandate.
Right, the Tao. Yeah,
right,
we may not
find the Tao.
Right, because we don't find the Tao. We don't get the Tao in the next life. Then it's.
So another way of really adding more emphasis on this line is to say that if you don't finish this journey, you're going to be back to square one.
Right.
Another way of saying.
The Buddha nature,
back to
remember.
Square one.
No, you'll have some foundation, a little bit.
Naturally, let's talk about it. Whatever we cultivate until what we have received this cultivate this lifetime will be in our Buddha nature.
Right. You
so
still
when
have
we reborn, we will start
have
at that.
some.
We will have at that level. We will have at that level.
That's why your merits and virtue and how much bad things you've done.
All those people are crying because they say by the time they are reborn, naturally you already died.
Right.
So they will not have a Buddha nature class to listen to. And then teacher said, okay, which next lifetime you're going to receive the Tao, you're going to have the opportunity to listen to the Buddha nature class. And those people are crying, all the spirits are crying. They say, no, next lifetime I come, naturally already died, so we will not see him again. Okay, that's why when teacher asks us to record it down, pass this down,
that's for posterity.
There's a reason there. Once we start to understand why, right? But the Buddha nature will have some kind of memory there. Whatever we have cultivated this lifetime will be inside our Buddha nature.
Yeah.
Well, it's whatever good foundation you have achieved this lifetime.
Right, it's there.
It remains. And,
yeah.
And that's what's really true merit. That's what merit means.
Yeah.
That's what merit means.
I mean, the only problem is just the conditions that you'll be born in. It may not be the right time, or conditions may not be right.
It may not be available.
So then it'd be unfortunate, right? So
the mandate may not be available.
So I have a question.
But
so if you don't have children, you have to depend on siblings to help you.
Siblings.
If you haven't met your merits and different things.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, usually it's your children has the most direct effect on you. The family has some, there's less. So really, we really shouldn't depend on anyone. We have to rely on ourselves.
But, just like our ancestors and so on who weren't able to receive the
Tao, they depend on us
to meet enough merits because we have generations we're able to help them.
Right, right.
So, but we're in a situation where someone has no children,
right.
So their line is gone.
Depend on themselves.
Yeah, depend on themselves then, what they've done.
But they've already.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah,
or depend on their ancestors.
And they might have some virtues, right? If they are virtuous.
Yeah, because like us, right, we will benefit 7th generation above us, 9th generation below us.
Okay, 9 generation below us. So those 17 generation will be benefit from the because us 17. 7 above us, 9 below us.
7 before and
9 below.
16.
16.
No, but ourselves 17. Okay, so 17 generation will benefit from
Also,
that.
if your kids don't do a good job, it affects you.
Oh yeah, that'll bring you down.
Well, that's a good question. That's what happened to
So,
one temple
yeah.
master in Taiwan. Okay, this temple master, he donated, I think it's more than $1 million, Taiwanese dollars, about $35,000 to the temple, right? Because he need merit, because he know he had a lot of karma there, bad karma there. But the problem, he went back to heaven, right? He's ready to he go to the 3 big gate. Remember the night opening? Go step by step, right? He was waiting there, and then the problem is his son went to the temple, fighting with the transmitter, trying to get the money back. Okay, and the transmitter really did it. Ready to give the money back to the person.
No more merits.
So the
Now, is the son in the Tao or he's not in the Tao?
You mean talk about his
son.
receiving the Tao, but never go to the temple. Okay?
He doesn't understand the
No,
principles.
doesn't receive. So he want money back. Okay, so the transmitter want to be harmony in the temple. So ready to collect the money, give him back. But the father was crying in the heaven because he was in the gate, right? Couldn't pass through the gate, right? So he was wandering there because he didn't have enough merit. He's stuck there. He's stuck there. He's stuck there. So he came down to the reunion and tell people what happened. Reunion with his family.
Did his son learn what he did? Did he
But
donate
the
the
problem,
money
he spent the
back?
money and then game boy
gone.
and lost all the money.
Now
Okay?
that's a horrible son.
Yeah, that was the game boy was all the money. He spent all the money. So the father came
It's
down.
better than not to have a son.
So the father came down, tell everybody what happened. The teacher was so kind. Our holy teacher is so kind. Bring his father back to tell everybody what happened. What happened? Then he tell everybody, said, give your kids the virtues. Don't use the money will not buy the virtues. Okay.
So those that have children, it is up to us to teach our next generation more about the principles of Tao. So this way they do not ask the temple for our donations.
And then I think later on, because he's so sincere, and then he was wandering in the gate, between gate. Our holy teacher really went to help him. So really so kind. Teacher is man, like our father, like son. So they don't give him. He coming down to talk to us all the story. So he gained a little merit. They don't teacher help him to pass through the gate. So it was a good story. Yeah, that was a very good story. Yeah,
I just want to kind of
come to talk about kids.
Yeah, because so when you have someone who may not have been blessed with kids, and they enter a family where the kids, it's almost, well, it's not theirs by bloodline, but it's theirs by values and nature and you know what we're talking about, like cultivation and stuff like that. Does that person then get, I don't want to use the wrong word, like get, but you know, the child's not going to make up for what they haven't done, but does any of that account for the same as if it was your own kids?
Are the kids adopted?
Either like adopted
Well,
or you
maybe not
into
even
in a
adopted,
family
but just
that's
in that family. It could be from birth, it could be from in the midst of, in the middle of it or whatever. But this one parent, whether male or female, comes in and the kids learn values and stuff from that person, but it wasn't a bloodline connection.
That's a very good question, because I saw the great virtual sense called the star, and I said great virtue had a sense. Dr. Zhenjin, he has a natural born mother. He has the other adopted mother, and I see their position are different.
Oh,
interesting. The natural birth mothers are higher. So it's interesting.
So
because, and I see, wow, I didn't know that because until I started to understand, wow, why, right? So, but here, two things here. First thing is, some people don't have kids. The brother, sister can help them. Because sometimes we try to donate or make a little contribution, put their name there. Okay, keep, like I'm always tell people that, like my loved one, my husband or wife is not in the temple yet. They're not coming. I'm coming. Sometimes we put donation in their name.
Dedicate merits to them.
Dedicate merit to them, so they can reduce their karma. So one day they might have opportunity to come or to join. But because they are not there yet, so they might have karma behind them. So we can put their name there, give the credit to them, so they can receive some credit. So that's one way to do it. I'll come back to this one. Whatever we do, children, parents always can help, but depend on percentage. Because that's why teacher want us to become a vegetarian. Vegetarian, very important to be a vegetarian. The reason because I donate $10. Teacher say if I make a vegetarian vow, teacher can receive the $10 credit from us. Okay, but if I'm not vegetarian, teacher only receive $5 from us. Why? Why?
The karma's taken.
Our debt, whatever we owe, right? Took $5 before the money get to the teacher. They took $5 away from those $10. So by the time it got to the teacher only get $5. That's why teacher want us try to become the vegetarian, so we don't have to waste any berries we have created, we made. So that's interesting. I didn't know that until wow. I think the teacher tried to give us a hint, try to explain to us. Okay.
Okay. All right.
I
just finished this part here. It says, all right.
Though.
It says we must restrain our words and conducts. We must not become wanton or unrestrained or go with the flow of society's trends. Right. So those are, what society decides is popular or is a good thing may not be. Okay. I mean that's what they do. Yeah, right. Especially in a capitalist society, that's what it's all about. In a free society, that's what it's all about.
That's what all society, right? That's what all society is about. You go on the internet, we'll turn on the TV.
It's all about that.
That's all you see. It's not saying, oh, we got to cultivate. I mean, see that on TV.
But teacher said no. Those going to bring us to the hell. Teacher said it's going to drive us to the hell.
Right.
Unfortunately,
what the gospel says, right? The path to perdition is wide, right? Broad and wide.
Yeah. So those are all the temptations out there to lead us the wrong way. So we have to be above that, go beyond that. Right, so that's why we use our wisdom, self-reflection, all these things. Once we have a grasp of the truth and the principles, then that can help guide us in the right direction, so we don't fall in that, going the wrong way. Right, it's very important.
Important things. Let's make sure all of us become a Buddha this lifetime. No second chance in the future life. No one. You know what I mean? We want to get there this lifetime. The reason because when we come down again next lifetime, we don't know we will have a doubt available. We don't know there's a mandate there for us to receive.
No, there will be, but it's just time.
We don't know.
Take a long time.
Who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it may take many lifetimes before you can encounter it.
There still will be. There still will be. No, there will be. Because Buddhas all say that.
Yeah, but maybe not widely spread.
Yeah. It's because we are at the 世界末日. We are at the 三草普渡, right? We are at the salvation of three realms. That's like Tao is there, spread. But in the next cycle, there will be a mandate, but
so let me.
It'll take a long time.
So all right, so this is just the last two lines. It says, my duty is to record the merits and demerits of everyone. Be cautious, brothers and sisters. Do not be complacent and negligent. Right. So and then I'll stop writing, stand aside invisibly, and observe, meticulously observe and supervise the class. So that's his duty to do that. All right. So thanks.